What's going on, guys? We want to do a little video today, kind of an update on the Jeep. We have new drums, all new insides. You see down there we got new brake lines from the front to the back. I still have one more that I have to run from here up, over, and then into that fender well. But I wanted to do a quick video first. All these, of course, are new, but the ones that came off of it all looked like this right here. And you try to get a wrench on that, and all it does is round it off. I knew when we got this Jeep, we were going to end up having to get a bunch of bolts out that were rusted. You probably can't see it. Well, where those lines go in, anybody that knows about a brake cylinder, you got two bolts on the back, and I knew they were going to be hard to get off. So I had my wife order this kit. I'm going to put a link in the description. Well, I'm just going to tell you guys, if you don't have one of these and you're working on a project, I would, especially one with rust, I definitely recommend this. The only thing that holds this block where it comes from the master cylinder is the lines. It's held up by these two lines. So all these fittings, I'm just having to cut with a pair of snips and cut it off, and then sometimes you can get a regular socket on there, but I mean, you can even tell there's not a whole lot to grip to. So what these are is a reverse, what it is, like a reverse thread. So when you put them on, they grip to where they grip on your part. So like that right there may not be the exact fit, but it goes in there, and when you start taking that thing the opposite way, it grips just enough to break that stuff loose, break it loose and come out. The other way, I don't know how you're gonna do it. A couple of small bolts. We just had to beat the cylinder out. That was the only way to get them out. I rounded. I mean, I had the bolt to where it was like a nub and round it off, and it was still like that. Huh?
Can I get a trap?
Yeah.
Out and sit on the
Yeah, you're fine.
Hey, come on.
Kids having a water balloon fight playing in the water. It's warm in Tennessee, let me tell you. It goes from 40 to 85 in a matter of a week. But anyway, I just want to talk about these extractors. If you've never seen them before, I mean, you just have, you know, something rusted, a bolt rusted, nut rusted. You grab onto this, take it off. Now I ran into something with mine. I think it may have been this one, and I was replacing the straps on my truck, the gas tank strap, and I was able to get this up on the bolt, but it was a long bolt, so it was still sticking out. Now if I'd have been smart, I would have checked and seen if I had a socket that would have fit that first, but I didn't. So I ended up taking just a regular adjustable wrench and adjusting it to where it came down. It bit the rusted bolt. I couldn't get anything to adjust to it. It bit that bolt and was gone. But just giving you guys a Jeep update. All new. They got new calipers up here. We got a couple strip bolts on the knuckle that we gotta fix. New brake lines. It runs. The issue, honestly, it's sad to say, but we had an issue with it not wanting to start or run, and it was just a matter of having enough gas in it. There's a bowl in the bottom of the tank, and I guess once you fill it up so far, there's always gas that stays in that unless you just suck it dry, and we must have not filled it up enough because we was only putting like 2 gallons of gas in it at a time. But got nice new brake lines front to back. I tell you, if you order one of these brake line kits, I thought ordering a brake line kit would be good because they're pre-bent. Well, they're pre-bent, but it don't mean you don't have to do any work. We have had to bend every one of them and maneuver them around. I think out of the whole 60, the two on the back here was fine, but the one that comes from the front to back was super long. And then we have one that goes from here, and all it's supposed to do is come from here and go right in there to that fitting. And this is how long the line was, and they're all marked. Now it is a good thing. It tells you, you know, this is the front port, and then you got one for the back. This tells you that it's the driver's side front wheel. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, it really is. They're marked, but they are a pain in the butt. This one I just had to take off, and you know, you got the old one, and right here you got the new one. You know, and it's bent for packaging, but it tells you to shipping bin straight in between tags. It tells you what it's for. So it's been pretty good, but at the same time, if you had the tools to do it and bend it yourself, you could probably make it a lot easier on yourself. But yeah, I'm going to show you what came off of the Jeep. Now, this thing came from New York. When we got it, it wouldn't roll, but this is some of the lines and the brake pads. This is the drum that came off, but I want you to look at the brakes. This actually came off of this thing. Look at that. Me or my wife have never messed with drum brakes, but we got it put together. But imagine, I mean, like we were talking last night, and I know up north it's pretty bad for rust, but this didn't have any pad on it. Didn't have any pad. And I mean, it's I just don't understand. It almost seems like this thing was sitting in the ocean somewhere, just sitting in salt water, just rotten. I've never seen something be so rusted. So I think the cap here is, I mean, I don't think it's leaking. It looks bad, but we could probably just wire brush it and paint it and look good. So far the brakes work. The front brakes worked. The calipers wasn't squeezing, so we replaced them. But yeah, it's just a project, guys. I mean, one thing at a time. The main reason for the video, and I was just going to give you a Jeep update, but the main reason for the video is that extractor set. I mean, if you're working on anything rusted, you got to get one of these. It'll make your life so much easier. I am going to put a link in the description. Got this off Amazon. They have a bunch of these, and I think this one ended up having like the most reviews, so that's why I got it. But yeah, we're just that much closer. We have it starting. The guy that, look at all this, the guy that owned it previously had a bunch of sound system junk in there, so we're going to be taking all this junk off and then redoing it. But yeah, brake lines, the rotors in the back, or the rotors, but the drums in the back, we rebuilt all the guts to that. The drum brakes, new drum covers, new brake lines, new fuel pump sending unit, new gas lines. Everything that we've done, you can tell because it's the only thing shiny. When you look at the gas tank here, the bolts holding it up are stainless. They're new. The stainless brake lines are new. The gas lines are new. So everything that we're doing is, looks new. So what we have now, we have a Jeep that's almost about to stop. It starts just fine, goes into gear and everything just fine. It just doesn't stop. So that's what we're working on now. Then once we get that, you can see the hole in the floor mat, and that's our seat for the time being. And look at this. Now you get a project, and I know some of you guys are going to say, oh, there's no way I could work in something like that and get it organized. But when you just got to have everything, I mean, look at that. You have everything in here. And, you know, unless you need it on a different job, it just stays here because that's where it's going to go. But once we get it stopping, we got to get the floorboards fixed. And then this seat bracket broke. This seat belt broke. And so we just got to get the floorboards welded in. But that's our project for the time. So I'll give you an update here in another week or two and let you know where we're at then. So we'll see you later.